In Tyler, the United States, a car race is being held with Shaggy taking part alongside his teammates Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo as well as his girlfriend Googie, thanks to his incredible driving skills. Shaggy quickly leaves his rivals behind by using a series of hilarious tricks. When he sees a car blocking his path ahead, Shaggy makes his modified vehicle burrow underground, allowing him to overtake everyone and secure the victory. Meanwhile, in Transylvania, Dracula is holding a meeting to search for the missing werewolf. However, his assistant Wolfgang informs him that the werewolf has gone on vacation. Dracula immediately becomes furious because the werewolf dares to disappear at such a critical time, especially when the annual Monster Road Rally is drawing near. This event requires every monster in Dracula's kingdom to participate, and Dracula begins to worry that the race might have to be cancelled. At that moment, Wolfgang suddenly comes up with an idea. He suggests that they can create a new werewolf to replace the old one. Since every 500 years the moon reaches a perfect position for 3 consecutive nights, the ancient book even reveals the face of the chosen person. And the moment Dracula sees Shaggy's face, he makes his decision. Dracula orders his 2 most loyal henchmen, which is the Hunch Bunch, to carry out the mission. The task is to travel to America, turn Shaggy into a werewolf and bring him back to Dracula's castle. At the same time, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are watching a horror movie at home. When Scooby-Doo sees a monster appear on the screen, he becomes terrified and Shaggy tries to comfort him, without realizing that the Hunch Bunch are secretly spying on them. Shaggy keeps insisting that monsters only exist in movies and says that he wants to go to the kitchen to make more popcorn. While Scooby-Doo is wandering around the house, he accidentally spots the Hunch Bunch. But when Shaggy goes to check, the 2 brothers have already hidden themselves in a corner. Later, as the moon rises higher in the sky, the Hunch Bunch decide to climb onto the roof and cut a hole so that the moonlight can shine through. They do not realize that Scooby-Doo has overheard their entire plan. He quickly wakes Shaggy, which helps them avoid being transformed into a werewolf. When the Hunch Bunch see that their plan has failed, they immediately seal the hole to avoid being discovered. Soon the second night arrives and Scooby-Doo, Shaggy and Scrappy-Doo stop at a convenience store. Scrappy-Doo is assigned to watch the car while Scooby-Doo and Shaggy go inside to choose food. However, Scooby-Doo does not expect the Hunch Bunch to suddenly appear and capture Shaggy. As soon as they push Shaggy to the spot they have marked in advance, another car is already parked exactly where the moonlight shines down. Dracula then appears to check on the progress of the mission, but he embarrassingly forgets to wear his trousers and only has shorts on. When Dracula leaves, his shorts even fall off behind him. Meanwhile, Shaggy is on a date with Googie at an outdoor horror movie screening. When Shaggy hears Scooby-Doo's stomach growling, he gives money to Scrappy-Doo so that Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo can go buy food. As the moon reaches its highest point, the Hunch Bunch lower the car roof, allowing the moonlight to transform Shaggy into a werewolf. However, every time Shaggy hiccups, he turns back into his normal self. He keeps switching between the 2 forms, which makes Googie uncomfortable, and she tells him that he needs to deal with his hiccups immediately, while Shaggy goes to buy some water. People around him catch sight of his werewolf form and start screaming in panic, but Shaggy simply assumes that they are too easily frightened to watch a horror movie. At the same time, Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo return with the food, but when they cannot find Shaggy anywhere, Scooby-Doo goes out to look for him. As he looks around, he accidentally overhears people talking about a werewolf being nearby, which scares him so badly that he runs away. Meanwhile, as the Hunch Bunch are keeping an eye on Shaggy, Dracula suddenly appears. When he notices that Shaggy transforms every time he gets hiccups, he immediately orders the 2 brothers to deal with this problem at once. At the same time, the crowd catches sight of Shaggy in his werewolf form and starts chasing after him. Fortunately, Scooby-Doo arrives in time to help, which allows Shaggy to escape from the crowd. Scooby-Doo quickly tells Shaggy that there is a werewolf nearby, and this makes Shaggy hiccup again and transform into a werewolf in an attempt to help him. Scooby-Doo covers Shaggy's face, but the 2 of them are unable to fool the people around them. As a result, Shaggy jumps into his car and speeds away immediately. However, he does not realize that this action causes a serious misunderstanding, because the crowd believes that he is kidnapping Googie, so they continue to chase after him. Before long, Shaggy drives into a dead end and has no choice but to activate the car's spring mechanism in order to escape. Seeing her boyfriend transformed into a werewolf fills Googie with deep sadness. Meanwhile, the Hunch Bunch take advantage of Shaggy's distraction and drug everyone inside the car, allowing them to transport the group to Transylvania. Soon Shaggy's car arrives at Dracula's castle, but an accident occurs and the car crashes straight down onto Dracula himself. Just as Dracula manages to free himself, A helicopter falls and crushes him once again. After that, Dracula places Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, Scrappy-Doo and Googie on a table and wakes them up. The moment they open their eyes, all four of them see countless monsters surrounding them. Shaggy simply assumes that they are all sharing the same dream. He even mocks two monsters standing next to each other, which makes them furious and leads to a conflict breaking out among the monsters. Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, Scrappy-Doo and Googie try desperately to wake themselves up, but nothing works. Dracula then quickly tells them that this is not a dream at all but real life. He introduces himself as the one who brought Shaggy to Transylvania so that he can take part in the Monster Road rally as the werewolf. Dracula also mentions that the prize includes a 2-week vacation in Hawaii. However, this offer is still not enough to convince Shaggy, so he decides to leave. It is only when Dracula mentions that Shaggy will be allowed to eat as much as he wants before the Monster Road rally that Shaggy turns back. Unfortunately, Shaggy does not realize that the food served here is monster food. As a result, he completely loses his appetite and only wants to leave as soon as possible, with no other option. Dracula imprisons Shaggy and the others. He then locks all four of them inside a room. Inside the room, they use all the blankets to make a rope so they can climb down. But Scooby-Doo and Shaggy do not expect to find crocodiles waiting below. While everyone feels discouraged, Scrappy-Doo accidentally discovers a secret passage. However, the passage leads directly to the Hunch Bunch, and all four of them are captured once again. Suddenly, a mysterious voice guides them toward another hidden door. They quickly move inside, and the owner of the voice reveals himself. The moment they see the ghost, all four of them panic and run away, only to accidentally stumble into Dracula's party. Not wanting to ruin the celebration, Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, Scrappy-Doo and Googie decide to join the party instead. At that moment, Dracula approaches Shaggy to ask about his decision. Shaggy pretends to avoid him by dancing with the monsters, while Dracula is not paying attention. Shaggy looks for another way out, but he unknowingly walks straight into a trap. Only then does Dracula reveal that everything has gone exactly according to his plan, with no other choice left. Shaggy is forced to agree to Dracula's conditions. Dracula promises that if Shaggy participates in the Monster Road rally, he will turn Shaggy back into a human and send the others home. Before long, morning arrives and Dracula wakes everyone up. Shaggy is surprised to discover that Dracula can walk under the sunlight, and he soon learns that it is all thanks to sunscreen. After that, Dracula leads everyone to take a look at the Monster Road rally track. When Shaggy sees how dangerous and challenging it looks, he suggests taking one test lap before officially joining the race. However, because the werewolf's car is still being repaired, Shaggy has no choice but to use his own vehicle instead. Dracula also takes this chance to deliberately make things harder for Shaggy, because what he truly wants is enough racers to hold the Monster Road rally, not an exceptionally skilled driver. What Dracula does not expect is that Shaggy can adapt flexibly to almost any situation. Whether he has to face a group of crocodiles, a raging fire, or a muddy swamp road, Shaggy manages to overcome every obstacle with surprising ease. Before long, he successfully conquers the Monster Road rally track in a way that no one anticipates. The moment Dracula witnesses Shaggy's true capability, he secretly decides to sabotage the werewolf's car, hoping this will prevent Shaggy from winning the race. Meanwhile, Shaggy goes to bed to rest and prepare for the race the next day. At the same time, Dracula orders the Hunch Bunch to disrupt Shaggy's sleep so that he will not be able to stay alert. But Dracula has no idea that the two of them are completely incompetent. Soon morning arrives and the Monster Road rally officially begins. All the terrifying monsters across Transylvania gather to compete for the Monster Cup. At the same time, Shaggy is still feeling drowsy and unfocused, so Googie has no choice but to kiss him on the cheek to wake him up. Dracula's monsters are already in position for the race, but Shaggy's sudden appearance immediately throws everything into chaos. After the situation is brought under control, the Monster Road rally finally starts. Even though Shaggy's car has been tampered with, he is still able to drive straight ahead at first. However, Shaggy quickly realizes that something is wrong with the car, so he lets Scooby-Doo take the wheel while he works on fixing it. Meanwhile, the Hunch Bunch scatter nails across the road ahead, but Scrappy-Doo and Googie manage to warn Scooby-Doo and Shaggy just in time. Not only that, Scrappy-Doo and Googie also arrive quickly to help rescue Scooby-Doo and Shaggy from danger. While this is happening, Dracula is happily celebrating because he believes that Shaggy has already been eliminated. But in the very next moment, Shaggy suddenly appears right in front of him. To make things even worse for Dracula, Shaggy has upgraded his car so that it can fly over the other racers. When the Hunch Bunch sees Shaggy taking the lead, They attempt to trap him by using sticky webbing. However, they do not realize that Scrappy-Doo and Googie have seen everything and manage to warn Scooby-Doo and Shaggy to stop the car in time. As Dracula's monsters are pushed backward by the trap, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy immediately regain the leading position. After that, the Hunch Bunch continue setting up more traps to block Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, but because they are so clumsy, they only end up creating a series of ridiculous and laughable situations. In an attempt to stop Shaggy's car, Dracula sets up a fake sign to trick him into driving toward the territory of the Loch Ness Monster. A massive swamp monster soon appears and swallows Shaggy's car whole. Meanwhile, Scrappy-Doo and Googie lose sight of Shaggy's car on the track and rush off to look for him. Before long, they discover that Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are being held captive by the Loch Ness Monster. Scrappy-Doo quickly comes up with a solution and flies straight toward the monster's face, where he pours pepper into its nose. At the same time, Dracula's monsters are fiercely competing for the lead. But Shaggy's car suddenly reappears and overtakes all of them. When Dracula tries to stop Shaggy, he accidentally ends up riding on top of another monster's vehicle. As Shaggy sees a train approaching ahead, he does not hesitate to press the accelerator all the way down and successfully makes it across. However, Dracula reacts too slowly and ends up being struck by the train. After that, Frankenstein and Repulsa try to overtake Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, so they keep firing lightning bolts straight ahead. However, neither of them expects the wooden bridge to catch fire, which causes it to collapse and sends them falling straight down. At the same time, Dracula's monsters begin playing dirty tricks on Shaggy's car, but they do not realize that Scooby-Doo and Shaggy are not easy opponents. It is only when the witch sisters shrink Shaggy's car that the monsters are finally able to pass them. Soon after that, Scrappy-Doo and Googie arrive and do something that even Dracula never anticipates. The two of them use a balloon pump to inflate Shaggy's car with air, allowing it to return to its original size. Before long, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy take the lead once again, which makes Dracula furious. Meanwhile, the witch sisters attempt to take down Shaggy's car one more time, but Scooby-Doo reacts quickly and pulls out a mirror, causing their magic to backfire on themselves. After that, Dracula disguises himself as a police officer in order to stop Shaggy's car. He claims that he needs to check the engine, and while Shaggy is distracted, he secretly steals it. What Dracula does not expect is that the engine can still operate even when it is no longer inside the car. Meanwhile, Dracula's monsters take advantage of the moment when Shaggy's car cannot move and rush ahead, just as Dracula is celebrating because he believes Shaggy has been defeated. Scrappy-Doo and Googie arrive with a replacement engine and install it right away. After having his plans ruined over and over again, Dracula finally turns to the Hunch Bunch for help. The Hunch Bunch quickly knocks Scrappy-Doo and Googie off the track right in front of Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. With no other choice, Scooby-Doo and Shaggy turn back to rescue them. The two of them cut down a tree so that Scrappy-Doo and Googie can land safely. However, the Hunch Bunch are not willing to let them go so easily, and when they try to defeat Scrappy-Doo and Googie, they end up falling victim to their own trap. As the Monster Road rally is nearing its end, an accident suddenly occurs and causes Dracula's monsters to crash into one another. Shaggy's car immediately takes advantage of the chaos and surges ahead. In desperation, Dracula orders the Hunch Bunch to plant a giant carnivorous tree, but he never expects the tree to turn on him and try to eat him instead. With no other option left, Dracula decides to unleash his final trump card. Genghis Kong is a massive monster that Dracula has prepared specifically for Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. However, Genghis Kong shows interest only in Scooby-Doo and lets Shaggy go. When Shaggy, Scrappy-Doo, and Googie see Genghis Kong playing with Scooby-Doo, they come up with a wild plan. While the monster is not paying attention, the three of them push him forward. Before long, Genghis Kong is eliminated along with the rest of Dracula's monsters. Scooby-Doo and Shaggy seize the opportunity to win the race, leaving Dracula completely stunned. Even though Shaggy wins the Monster Cup, all he wants now is to become human again and return home. Unable to accept his defeat, Dracula refuses to hand over the instruction book. However, Scooby-Doo takes advantage of a moment when Dracula is not paying attention and snatches the book before escaping with the others. Determined not to let Shaggy turn back into a human, Dracula orders the Hunch Bunch to chase after them. Using the power of a giant magnet, the Hunch Bunch almost managed to pull Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, Scrappy-Doo, and Googie backward. When the car no longer works, Dracula switches to using an airplane and repeatedly fires at them, without realizing that Shaggy's car is capable of flying. Suddenly, a powerful storm appears and pulls Shaggy's car into it. Seeing this, Dracula believes that he has finally won, but he is immediately swept away by the storm himself. After the storm passes, Shaggy's car ends up landing on another airplane. Scooby-Doo, Shaggy, Scrappy-Doo, and Googie are finally able to return home. With the instruction book in hand, Shaggy reads the spell and transforms back into his original human form. As for Dracula, karma quickly catches up with him when he is chased by a shark. Although he manages to escape, it does not take long before he sets his sights on Shaggy once again.